Well, it's the end of our series. This is the last week before we take a break for the summer holidays, the last video for a few weeks, but I hope to be catching up with some of you in the social that we've got arranged a week on Friday and at various times during our summer break together. What are we looking at this week? Well, we're finishing off our theme of raise a hand and looking at worship. And the last thing that I want to say to you is that worship is much more than some of the things we've talked about. It's much more than how we express our praise to God when we're in a room full of other Christians singing songs. It's much more than our generosity and our gifts and our offerings to other people. Worship is a lifestyle. Romans 12 tells us that we are to offer our bodies as living sacrifices, and it goes on to say that this in itself is an act of worship. Why a living sacrifice? Well, imagine the first people hearing this back in the New Testament days. They'd be used to a dead sacrifice, something that had no choice. It was just presented to be burnt on an offering or whatever. And it couldn't walk away because it was dead. But you and I, we're living sacrifices. We choose to get alongside God's plans and purposes and put our own stuff to the other side. We choose to prioritize God because we want to show our worship, our appreciation, and our love for Him. So worship is about your heart. It's about what's going on inside when you do something. You can go and serve on teams. You can go and give generously. You can give your time, your gifts, your talents, your money, all those sort of things. But if your heart isn't in the right place, then just like the story of Cain and Abel, your offering isn't going to be acceptable. It's not really worship. You're not doing it for the right reasons. But if you've got the right heart, you can do anything. Can fixing a toilet up be an act of worship?
Yeah, and this is worship too.
Our whole life is supposed to be a life of worship, where we really show people how important God is in our lives. There's lots of examples in the Bible of people using their skill and their giftings to serve God and glorify Him. I've just noted down a few here. So you've got 1 Samuel 16 verses 17 to 18, where King Saul wants to find somebody who plays the harp skillfully to calm him down, and of course he ends up getting David back into his life. And you've got things like 1 Chronicles 15 verse 22 and 25 verse 7, where somebody is charged to lead worship because they're skillful at it. But there's more than that. In Exodus 31 and in the first 16 verses and in chapter 36, you've got people gifted in crafts and things who are called by God to use their skills to bless the Israelites by helping to build the tabernacle. We've all got skills that we can bring. We've all got talents. We've all got abilities. But the main thing that God wants from us as an act of worship is a heart that loves Him. And if you've got that heart that loves Him, basically your whole life can be one big love letter to God that says, this is what you mean to me. I'm going to live like this. I'm going to put your desires first. I'm going to look after your plans and purposes. Have a great summer holiday. I look forward to catching up with you all soon.